the chosen one. Congratulations. You won. You didn't just survive. You didn't just hold on. Didn't you suffer through hardships and tribulations with tears in your eyes and wounds on your soul? No. What you accomplished was considerably more powerful. You clung to your faith while everyone else let go. You trusted despite the facts pointing to the contrary. You continued pushing ahead, step by step. You persisted even when the ground underneath you crumbled. Even when your heart was exhausted, your energy was low, and your soul ached. And for that, the cosmos is now saying congratulations. You won. The chosen one. Continue watching this video till it ends. Your breakthrough is already here. This mail is a confirmation. Also, leave your fondest wishes in the comments and type 777 to confirm that your wishes are coming true and the universe is aligned with your greatest wants. This is your time. This is your moment. This is your victory. No, the chosen one. I like this video. If you have not already done so, subscribe to the channel. Let we begin. You are not designed for average. You were never meant to hide in the shadows or settle for less than brilliance. You were born with spiritual strength. Even if life attempted to bury you, mute your voice, and deprive you of confidence, identity, and vision, you rose nonetheless. What a climb it has been. You walked through fire, which might have devoured you. You faced storms that would have crushed everyone else. But something about you was unbreakable. Something about you was heavenly. And even when others looked at you as if you were broken, criticized you for your quiet, insulted you for your optimism, or disregarded you as too strange, you remained steadfast. What's the reason? Deep down, you knew your narrative was far from done. Your victory was still coming. You were not designed to fail. You were not meant to spend your life in continual defeat. You were not created to endure without purpose. Everything you've been through was not punishment. It was a preparation. Every loss prepared your thoughts. Each grief bolstered your spirit. Every betrayal honed your judgment. You've been fashioned like a diamond under pressure, emerging with brightness. And now the payout has come. This is more than simply a victory. It's a divine announcement that the painful season has over. You have accepted your award. The ones who believed they had won while you waited. They didn't realize the conflict was not theirs to decide. They didn't see the spiritual money you were building up. They didn't notice the quiet breezes. You were building from inside. However, everything is finally falling into place. The blessings with your name on them are being unleashed. The formerly closed doors are now opening on their own. The previously restrained support is now pouring in. Why? Because it was always intended for you. Nobody else could claim what has been destined for your hands. You're not seeing coincidences. You're seeing confirmation. Divine orchestration. This is not arbitrary. This isn't luck. This is wonderful. Favor in action. The instant that heaven speaks, everything changes. The forces that formerly opposed you are now working to your advantage. That's the victory. You didn't even need to force it. You didn't need to beg for it. You agreed with it. As a result, the rewards are pouring. The chosen one. What is ahead of you is not just better. It is unrecognizable. It is plentiful. It is overpowering. In the finest manner. You will glance around and discover that the life you once imagined has become a reality. You wrote your objectives down quietly. I hope you are living them out loud. The moments you imagined in your heart. They've now surrounded you. You will enter rooms that you previously only imagined. You will sit at tables you never expected to be asked to. Why? Because you persevered throughout difficult times. You obeyed even if it didn't make sense. You remained loyal. When the audience turned their backs, you did not pursue validation. You kept close to the vision. You did not demand applause. You remained true to your objective. The universe took note. Heaven took notice. And now, you are now being recognized. Spiritual, emotional, and economical. It's all related. This triumph affects all aspects of your life. With God's blessings, you are welcome to bless this message by making a generous contribution of $10 or more. We use the Super Thanks button on YouTube jointly. Let us promote faith, hope, and love bringing light not just into our own lives, but also to those who need it the most. Your donation provides a source of inspiration and healing for many individuals. Don't let anybody tell you you don't deserve it. Let no one attempt to diminish what you've accomplished. You marched through unseen fights. You shed tears. Nobody watched you sacrifice in quiet. You grinned despite the anguish. You were nice in moments. Anger would have been easy. And now what you did in faith is multiplying behind the scenes. That's the victory. That is the miracle. And this victory isn't just for today. It signifies a new season, a fresh flow, and a new vibration. You're not going back to the previous version of yourself. You aren't replicating previous habits. You are moving backward. This victory is a signal. This indication indicates that your elevation is permanent. Your shift is complete. You are no longer just surviving. You're prospering. People will question you. How did this happen so quickly? But you'll see it didn't happen quickly. It appeared unexpectedly. You were preparing all along for the inner work, spiritual development, and letting go of what was no longer serving you. It was all preparing you for this very time. Your victory is not the result of chance. It's an alignment. It is fate. And now that the gates are open, nothing can shut them down. You're going to step into rooms where you will be the solution. You will be the solution. You will bring light that dispels gloom. Your words will carry life. Your presence will provide clarity. Your ideas will produce plenty. You are no longer merely someone who wants to win. You're the winner. You are an example of spiritual law in action. You embody heavenly force in action. Let your pleasure return. Let your peace grow. Allow your confidence to soar. Because from this moment on, every move you take will result in victory. You've conquered too much to live in fear. You've recovered too much to play small. You have grown too much to remain concealed. Your identity is apparent. Your task is currently active. Your time has come. The following levels will bring with them such strong benefits that even you will be shocked. The winds will blow at an incredible speed, but do not question it. Receive it in celebration. Expect it. This is your birthright. The favor on your life is not a coincidence. It's the basis. It is integrated throughout your entire nature. It's time to acknowledge that you are the one selected, crowned, and ascending. You don't just win and go away unaltered. When a selected one wins, the aura surrounding them changes. The air feels different. Conversation options alter. People's perceptions of you change, not because you've suddenly transformed into someone else, but because your inner truth has surfaced. Your frequency is no longer hidden. It is communicating loudly and clearly. Victory produces a sound. And now when you speak, the world can hear the sound in your voice. Your presence is no longer something that others dismiss. You have authority, and it shows. You don't need to introduce yourself anymore. Your energy enters the room before you. This is what occurs when someone has actually triumphed in spirit. You bear the weight of experience. You have the shine of knowledge. You have the brightness of someone who has passed through the valley and come out with a crown. You are evidence that the universe rewards those who persevere even when the odds seem to be stacked against them. And now we've picked one. Everything that was previously postponed is now accelerating. You're no longer waiting years for something that you already have. Time is working in your favor. Doors are swinging open without a knock. Opportunities are chasing you down. You are being sought out, not just seen. The benefits are finding you. The alignment is reaching out to you. The overflow is pursuing you because you have become the epitome of spiritual prosperity. You did not comply. You did not make a compromise. You didn't pretend to fit in. You remained true to your inner compass. And today, the benefit is apparent. Your road was not always clear, but it was always safe. And now that protection has turned into promotion. This is the stage in which everything you've lost gets replaced with something greater. What was stolen is being repaid with interest. What was once broken is being restored in beauty. The defeats created room for the greater successes. You no longer think like someone who wants to win. You now think like someone who already has. That perspective alters everything. It affects the way you talk, move, and dream. You're not hoping anymore. Your knowledge and your inner understanding. That's where the power lies. That's what distinguishes nearly from arriving. That's what distinguishes the hurt from the woke. There is a light on you now, and it is not just physical. It is spiritual. It is magnetic. It is the residue of miraculous triumph. People cannot explain why they are attracted to you. Why do they suddenly want to bless, support, and unite with you? But you see that you've stepped into favor. That is loud, apparent, and unmistakable. And this favor is not acquired via excellence. It was achieved through perseverance. It resulted from obedience. It comes from keeping genuine even when it seemed tempting to give up. The chosen one. Everything around you is shifting. Not just your riches and influence, but also your soul, thoughts, and relationships. Previous connections that could not support your light have been cleared. The attachments that couldn't accompany you to the next level are disintegrating. You are surrounded by a heavenly community. Those who speak your language are now aware of your frequency and acknowledge your progress. You are entering rooms where you no longer need to shrink. You're standing on platforms you've always wanted. But more significantly, you are now being recognized for who you are. A beacon of power, endurance, and divine flow. You did not only win the season. You have gained an identity, vitality, and spiritual elevation that cannot be reversed. You'll recall the suffering without bitterness. You'll reflect on the battle, yet feel thankfulness rather than regret. You will remember who abandoned you, who questioned you, who undervalued you, and you'll have no desire for vengeance. Because winning at this level is enough. The quiet is sufficient. Your current life is sufficient. This is hardly the kind of victory that should be celebrated. It is sensed. It speaks for itself. It causes rippling effects. Your existence today demonstrates that there is a power beyond logic, luck, and human control. You walk with something precious, and even people who don't comprehend it must respect it. Everything you touch is now multiplying. Everything you say now awakens your carrying power, which empowers, liberates, and inspires people. And you are no longer striving to compete, since winners do not pursue. Winners generate winners. First place winners. Bless. And now that is who you are. You are a conduit for possibilities. A magnet for marvels. A living proof that energy doesn't lie. That spirit never forgets. That alignment always results in a reward. You were picked not just for the spotlight, but also for legacy, influence, and healing. And you've been tasked with not just receiving riches, but also redistributing it in significant ways. Your victory is not selfish. It is spiritual. It is part of a heavenly system that empowers the healed, humble, and optimistic. You have been entrusted with this victory because you know what to do with it. You're not here to hoard. You came here to grow. And you'll discover that with each victory, more clarity will emerge, more direction and understanding. Because it is not the end. It marks the beginning of a new level in your life. One in which your ideas appear quickly. One in which your confidence is grounded on experience. One in which you are always aware of the divine river that flows within you. You are not the same person who began this adventure. You have developed. You have advanced to the next level. You've entered your next season. And this time you are questioning whether you belong here. You know you do. You're not asking for permission anymore. You're walking with purpose. You are not attempting to persuade anybody. You are focused on making a contribution. Your victory has paved the way for future generations to succeed. And your example is the spark that ignites countless of other fires. The chosen one. This is what heavenly triumph looks like. It's subtle but unmistakable. Powerful but calm. Humble but lovely. And now that you're here, there's no going back. This victory is your new normal. This abundance represents your new surroundings. This is your new baseline. The only way to go from here is up. You have won. And now you're building. You know, bless. Now you are the proof that faith works. That obedience pays reward, and that fate cannot be avoided. Congratulations again, the chosen one. This is only the beginning. After the win, the world begins to catch up with what you always knew deep inside. You were always meant to win. It wasn't about proving anything to others. It was about proving to oneself. And now that confirmation is written all over your life, serenity, power, and the capacity to walk away from turmoil without looking back. In your bravery to choose. Rest over opposition in your delight, which does not need permission to exist. You're not responding the same way. You aren't easily rattled. You aren't seeking for shortcuts or approval. You've entered your lane, and that path only leads to more benefits, prosperity, knowledge, and heavenly satisfaction. When you win on this level, the murmurs around you shift. People begin saying things like, "There's something different about you." But it's not just that. It is everything. Your brilliance is more audible. You have more confidence. Your grin is more grounded. Your energy is evident. You are walking with spiritual security. You don't just believe anymore. You understand. And the knowing, that's the resonance that attracts everything to you with magnetic power. This triumph is not a one-time occurrence. It represents a full transformation in your chronology. It is a recalibration of your world. It's wonderful to rewrite the screenplay of your life in real time. You're no longer pursuing what's right for you. It is now racing at you. Resources, support, connections, clarity, divine instructions. They are coming every day. Not because you're working more, but because you've aligned more deeply. Your hardships in the past did not break you. They taught you, and now everything they sought to keep from you is coming up with no resistance. The war was never about money, position, or recognition. It was always about your energy, serenity, and mind. The moment you've secured it, the outside world followed. You move like someone who is no longer in survival mode. You're not only thinking about the next step, you're thinking about the legacy, impact, and ripple effect since you didn't win for yourself. You won for every individual who heard your voice. Every life will be altered because you refuse to give up. Every soul will be raised since your path served as a pattern. That's the true victory. Transformation that multiplies. You have entered the version of yourself that does not need validation. You affirm yourself by demonstrating presence, purpose, and power. You talk with authority based on experience rather than ego. You understand what it takes to walk in truth, carry light, and lead in the unseen. And now the results of that walk are being delivered. Doors open not just for convenience, but also in response to a call. Rooms are changing not just to admire you, but also to benefit from you. You are currently in the room. You are a godsend. You represent the breakthrough. Walking into people's life makes them feel it. What was previously emptied no longer reaches you. You no longer have access to what was previously postponed. You've risen beyond past hurdles. You vibrated with terror. You have overcome your deficiency. Your frequency has developed. You view things differently today. You detect with heavenly clarity. You do not consider ideas that contradict your value. You don't stay where you aren't honored. Because when you win like this, you start to comprehend. Peace is costly, and you will not pay for it with your soul again. Now, you guard your tranquility as if it were your salary. You cherish your time as if it were a valuable asset. You defend your mission as if it were your gateway. Because, as the chosen one, you did not merely win outwardly. You won within. You overcame uncertainty. You eliminated fear. You demolished fake identities. And now you are experiencing the raw, brilliant force of who you were always intended to be. There is nothing lacking from you. You are complete in every way. You are the whole package. Spiritually equipped, emotionally aligned, and financially prepared. And because you won. The gates of wealth are wide open, not for a single instant, but for a whole movement. A season with back-to-back triumphs. And this is just the beginning. You'll notice that your thoughts flow more easily now. How your discussions lead to heavenly connections. How what you say becomes a reality quicker. That is not an accident. That is the benefit of alignment. You've removed the clutter. You've overcome the opposition. And now the tide of creation flows through you like a river.